योऽन्तः प्रविश्य ममवाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्. Namaskar everybody. I am going to speak on Sanathana Dharma, an overview. The immediate trigger for the present topic is the current political debate about the word Sanathana Dharma. As we are all aware, a South Indian politician has made certain controversial remarks about this word Sanathana Dharma, and our Honorable Prime Minister has struck a note of caution saying that this effort is one that may push India back into slavery after thousands of years of a united front under this name Sanathana Dharma, and therefore it becomes essential to understand what this word Sanathana Dharma means and what it implies and why it is being attacked and what are the answers for the questions that are being raised. Here is a small humble attempt to answer these questions. The politician who has spoken ill about Sanathana Dharma has given many odious comparisons regarding this, which is indeed a very great tradition, and he has compared the great dharma to some of the epidemic illnesses that are very detrimental to humanity, and Sanatana Dharma is portrayed as though it is the very opposite of progress, and that is not the case is the point that we seek to show in this talk. One first thing that may be noted is that Hinduism is not an organized religion unlike the Abrahamic faiths, which are highly organized. As a consequence, there is no sense of political unity and social cohesiveness in our religion, whereas the other religions are essentially congregational religions, and therefore they always seek to provide a united front for themselves and pursue their case persistently. This is not the case with Hinduism, where the seeker is left to himself to pursue the higher goals of life, though in a very disciplined manner. And further, there is no concept of apostasy in Hinduism. Apostasy is a formal disaffiliation of the faith to which one belonged earlier. And in the case of Christianity as well as Islam, if a person abjures his faith, it is not kindly looked upon. Apostasy is considered as a sin in Christianity, and in the case of Islam, there are fatwas that are issued that may endanger even the very life of the person. Now, such things do not obtain in Hinduism, and therefore, leaving Hinduism becomes something very easy. And as Hinduism does not have a single founder, once again, the point of focus and organization also becomes somewhat weak, and therefore we find that for the past 200 years Hinduism has been under constant attack, and therefore the need for the protection of our religion in the wake of the present controversies and the present styles of attack, both socially and politically. And Hinduism is not a proselytizing religion, and as a consequence the number of Hindus is constantly reducing, whereas the other numbers swell. Sometimes the question is raised as to whether Hinduism itself has a proper label. It has been said that the word Hindu itself is of foreign origin, and it may be easily noted that the word Hindu is easily related to the word Sindhu. The word Sapta Sindhu is the origin of Hapta Hindu as it becomes in other languages. The letter Sa undergoes a transformation into Ha very easily. Both are aspirates called Mahaprana in Sanskrit. Thus, for example, what is Saptakona in Sanskrit becomes heptagon in Greek, and therefore the exchange of Sa and Ha sounds is very easily visible. Even Assam is called Aham, and even Masa is sometimes called Maha or Mahe. And thus we find that there is a replacement of Sa sound by Ha sound. Even in Panini's grammar, there is a sutra called Serhyapicha, which also gives the prescription for the replacement of the Sa sound by the Ha sound. And thus the word Hindu need not be considered as of an entirely foreign origin, but even though foreigners have frequently referred to us by the word Hindu, we can consider that as our own word. And there is also the evidence of the word Hindu itself being used even in Sanskrit literature for at least 200 to 300 years. It is very evident. Thus, for example, there is a statement in the Purana, Kalika Purana. So it says, Kalena balina nunam adharma kalite kalau yavanair ghoram akranta hindavo vindhyamavishan. So there is a reference to Hindus as Hindavaha. So it is taken as an Ukaranta Shabda. There are also numerous other references to the word Hindu in many Kashmiri texts, especially because there is the place where there was a prior confrontation between Hindus and Muslims, and the Hindus have identified themselves by that very name, Hindu. So in many Sanskrit texts, there are many other references in Sanskrit texts to the word Hindu itself. A modern definition of the Hindu, because Hinduism covers Buddhism and Jainism also, because the two are offsprings of Hinduism itself, there is a beautiful verse which summarizes the common tenets of Hinduism. It says, Goshu bhaktir bhaved yasya pranavecha dridha matihi punarjanmani vishwasaha savai hindurite smritaha. A Hindu is a person who has great devotion to the cow and who has a firm conviction regarding the sanctity and sacredness of pranava or omkara, and who also has faith in reincarnation. These are considered as some common traits to the various branches of Hinduism. Hinduism has proliferated itself into numerous schools and sub-schools, and therefore the one common factor that brings them all together is a belief in all these things. Now, as I told earlier, Hinduism is not a proselytizing religion, as a consequence of which the Hindus have never tried to convert others into their own faith, whereas there has been a constant flow of Hindus into other faiths on account of various factors like temptation and fear. And this has resulted in many demographic changes, and the demographic changes have had very devastating effects upon Hinduism. Thus, for example, what is known as the Veda Bhumi is today's Pakistan and Afghanistan, and the land of Shankaracharya and the land of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have also been occupied by non-Hindus by and large, and therefore there is every possibility that all traces of Hinduism, all sacred spots of Hinduism will meet with a very disagreeable treatment in those hands. The word Arya itself is something that has never stood for a race. The religion, our religion is called Sanathana Arya Bharata religion. So it is known as Sanatana Mata or Vaidika Mata or Arsha Mata and so on. So this Vaidika Samskriti or Rishi Samskriti is also known as Arya Samskriti, and the very word Arya shows something venerable. The meaning of the word Arya is honorable. In the Ramayana, for example, we have Rama being referred to as Aryaha Sarvasamaschaiva Sadaiva Priyadarshanaha Sacha Sarvagunopetaha Kausalyananda Vardhanaha. And therefore, the word Arya refers to a person whom we venerate. And in Sanskrit dramas, one can see that the husband is always referred to by the wife as Aryaputra, and obviously this can have no racial connotation. Thus, we find that the word Arya is something that shows a person of an exalted personality, a person of noble aspirations, and a person who does things which are worthy of emulation. Such a person is called Arya. Sriranga Mahaguru referred to our rishis as Sanatana Arya Bharata Maharshis. Every one of these words is very significant. The word Sanatana itself means something permanent, something lasting. And then Arya, as we have explained just now, stands for something noble. Bharata stands for immersion in light or a devotion to illumination. And then Maharshi refers to the great sages who seek the greatest things of life. Thus, we find that these words are all very significant. Now, we would like to go deep into the words Sanatana and Dharma and the word Sanatana Dharma itself. So, more in an academic sense than in any political sense.